students. Today I am going to cover your next chapter, which name is Footprints Without Feet, and it has been written by Herbert George Wells. In short, we can say his name as H.G. Wells. But before I start this chapter, I just want to discuss about the deleted syllabus of CBSE class 10th English because of pandemic of coronavirus. CBSE board has recommended that 30% of your syllabus will be deleted. So let's discuss about the deleted syllabus of your English literature and from the grammar side. From the grammar side, use of passive voice, clauses in which noun, adverb clauses of condition and time, and relative. Then prepositions will be deleted. From literature side and from first flight, 5 chapter has been deleted. That is how to tell wild animals. This is your poem. Trees, it is also a poem. Fog, it is also a poem. And Misville the Otter, this is a prose. And the 5th one is For Any Gregory. And from the book of Footprints Without Feet, 3 lessons has been deleted. The first one is The Midnight Visitor, and the second one is A Question of Trust, and the third one is The Book That Saved the Earth. So these were your syllabus that have been deleted from your grammar, and that 2 of the books, First Flight and Footprints Without Feet. Let us begin the chapter with knowing about the author. Herbert George Wells, born on 21st September 1866 and died on 13 August 1946. He was an English novelist, journalist, sociologist, and historian, best known for such science fiction novels as The Time Machine and The War of the Worlds, and such comic novels as Tono Bunge and The History of Mr. Polly. As I am going to start our chapter, so first of all, we will discuss about a summary of this chapter in a very brief manner. First of all, we will see that how the 2 boys see footprints from nowhere. The 2 boys were surprised to see the fresh muddy imprints. These were of a pair of bare feet. As they gazed, a fresh footmark appeared from nowhere. Then they saw further steps down the street. Thereafter, they disappeared. So the 2 boys were highly surprised. They saw muddy impression on the steps of a house in London. They were the fresh footmarks of a barefooted man. The impressions got fainter and finally disappeared. Then we discuss about the footprints of Griffin, an invisible scientist. These footprints were of a scientist named Griffin. He had just discovered how to make the human body transparent. He swallowed some drugs. His body became as transparent as a sheet of glass. It was before his footprints being seen. So this was the mystery of footmarks. That the mystery of footmarks was quite simple. The 2 boys got it. The boys were following a scientist. He had just discovered how to make the human body transparent. Let us know about the scientist Griffin something. He was a lawless person. But Griffin was rather a lawless person. His landlord disliked him and tried to eject him. In revenge, Griffin set fire to the house. He had to remove his clothes to get away. So he became a homeless wanderer without clothes or money. The 2 boys had seen him thus. So Griffin, who was a great but eccentric scientist, She carried out many experiments to prove that the human body could become invisible, and in the end she swallowed some rare drugs and his body became transparent. He was a lawless person, and that is why his landlord disliked him and tried to eject him. In revenge, Griffin set his house on fire. Moving further, we will get to know about the escape of Griffin. Griffin escaped from the voyage. She was without clothes in midwinter at that time. Instead of walking about the streets, he entered a big London store for warmth. He broke open boxes. He fitted himself with warm clothes. He had shoes, an overcoat, a hat, but was invisible. He took cool meat and coffee in a restaurant. He also took meal, sweets, wine, etc. in a grocery store. And finally, he slept on a pile of kilts inside. So, Griffin had to remove all his clothes because he wanted to be unseen by the people. He belies a homeless wanderer without clothes and he had no money. He left footmarks as ticked. And the air was bitterly cold. Griffin was naked, and instead of walking about the streets, he entered a London store for warmth. He enjoyed the pleasure of clothes and food freely. He fitted himself out with warm clothes there. He became fully dressed up with shoes, an overcoat, and a hat. And after putting on clothes, he became visible. He had cold meat and coffee, sweets and wine from the grocery store. He slept on a pile of kilts. So, moving further, we will get to know how Griffin was chased away. So, he didn't wake up till the next morning. When the servants came, he began to run. They chased him. He escaped by taking off his newly found clothes. This time, he entered a theatrical company. He hoped to find some clothes. Shivering with cold, he hurried to Drury Lane. It was the center of the theatre world. So Griffin didn't wake up until the assistants arrived the next morning. And when they came near, he panicked and began to run. But he could become invisible only he was totally naked. So he took off his newly found clothes. Once more, he became naked in the chill January air. Then he hurried to Drury Lane, the center of the theatre world. Moving further, we will get to know the next incident that happened with Griffin. He soon found a suitable shop. He went upstairs but came out a little later. He was now wearing bandages. Those were round his forehead. He wore dark glasses, false nose and big bushy side whiskers. He attacked a shopkeeper. Then he robbed him of all his money. He then went to Epping Village from London. There he booked 2 rooms at the local inn belonging to Mrs. Hall. So what happens? He hurried to Drury Lane, the center of the theatre world. He found a shop. He was searching shop upstairs invisible. He came out wearing bandages around his forehead, glasses, false nose, side whisker and large hat. Then attacked a shopkeeper and he robbed him. He just taken away all the money he could find and just went away from there. And then he just went to Epping Village from London. He didn't want to be caught. So there he booked 2 rooms at the local inn belonging to Mrs. Hall. Okay, now we will know about the incident that happens in that village, in that inn. So the arrival of a stranger at an inn in winter amazed the villagers. Mrs. Hall, the landlord's wife, wanted to be friendly with him, but he told her that he didn't want to be disturbed. He also told her that an accident had affected his face. So the arrival of a stranger of such strange appearance became the talk of the people. Mrs. Hall tried to be friendly with her guest Griffin, but he told that he didn't want to be disturbed. He wanted to be alone. She thought that her guest was an eccentric scientist. She didn't mind his strange habits and irritable temper. So this is our next point. The stolen money didn't last long. He, however, pretended that he was expecting some money at any moment. Shortly afterwards, a curious episode occurred. Griffin had made himself invisible. He entered a clerk's house. The clerk awoke and he asked him to surrender. So a strange episode occurred and his wife were awakened by the noises in the study very early in the morning. They came downstairs and heard a chink of money being taken from the desk. But he couldn't see no one. He realized the room was empty. Yet the desk had been opened and the money was missing. It was extraordinary for the color. So, in this incident, in this episode, we will know about how Griffin again stole money from a man. They came downstairs and heard the chink of money being taken from the desk. With poker in his hand, the man flung open the door. He shouted, "Surrender." He was surprised to see the room empty. They looked under the desk, behind the curtains, and even up the chimney. No one was there. They found the desk open and the money was missing. They were highly surprised and couldn't understand anything that what is going on. So this surprises Mrs. Hall. The landlord and his wife, Mrs. Hall, woke up very early. They were surprised to see the scientist's door wide open. They peeped round but saw nobody. Clothes, bandages, etc. were the room. Everything was in disorder. So the landlord and his wife woke up very early. They found Griffin's door wide open. Usually it was shut and locked. They peeped around but found nobody. They found Griffin's clothes and bandages were lying about. So this is our next point. Mrs. Hall in great terror. All of a sudden, Mrs. Hall heard a sniff close to her ear. Then the bedpost lifted up. It dashed itself into her face. Both of them turned away in terror. A chair pushed both out of the room. Mrs. Hall almost fell down crying. She felt sure that the room was haunted by spirits. So, all of a sudden, Mrs. Hall heard a sniff close to her ear. A hat lifted up and dashed itself into her face. Then the chair became alive. They turned away in fear. Then the chair pushed them both out of the room. Then the door was slammed and locked after them. Mrs. Hall almost fell down the stairs and started crying. She was sure that the room was haunted by spirits. So Griffin was suspected as a thief by the village man. Soon the burglary in the clergyman's house became known. The strange scientist was suspected of having a hand in it. The suspicion became stronger as he produced ready cash. Earlier, he had admitted of not having any. So the villagers suspected that the trouble was caused by witchcraft. When the news of burglary at the man's home became known, everyone doubted Griffin's hand in it. This suspicion grew stronger when Griffin suddenly showed some ready cash. He had no cash before a few days. Here is the next point. The truth is out. The village constable was secretly called, but Mrs. Hall didn't wait for the constable. She went to the scientist. She asked him what he had been doing in her chair upstairs. She wanted to know how he had entered a locked room. At this, the scientist grew angry. He suddenly shouted at her. He then threw off bandages, spectacles, nose, etc. He had become invisible. The horrified people now saw at a headless person. So, Mrs. Hall went to Griffin's room. She was there. She asked what he was doing to her chairs upstairs. She also asked how he entered a locked room. The scientist lost his temper. He became furious and cried, "I will show you." Suddenly, he threw away all bandages, whiskers, spectacles, and even nose. The horrified man in the bar was staring at the hairless man. Constable Jeffers' problem. This was our next point. Means that it was an encounter with Constable Jeffers. Mr. Jeffers, the constable, arrived. He was surprised that he had to arrest a man without a head. But he had to arrest him in any case. So he tried to catch the scientist. But he was throwing off one garment after another. The constable found himself struggling with someone he could not see at all. Some people tried to help him, but they received blows only from invisible gripping. Okay, the police constable who had been informed arrived now. He was totally surprised to find that he was to arrest a man without a head. There followed a wonderful scene. The scientist, means Griffin, started throwing his clothes one by one. He was becoming more and more invisible as he threw off one garment after another. Finally, the man became invisible. Some people who tried to hold him were beaten by the unseen blows that came from nowhere. In the end, Jeffers became unconscious. There were cries of "hold him," but Griffin had freed himself. No one knew where to lay hand on him. So what happens? Some people who tried to hold him were beaten by the unseen blows that came from nowhere. In the end, Jailers was knocked unconscious. Nervous and excited people were crying, "Hold him, hold him." Griffin was invisible and free now. No one knew where to lay hands on him. So students, we have just covered the brief summary of this chapter, and in our next video we will discuss about the original text of the book. Till then, goodbye, have a nice day and be happy. Thank you very much.